All right. We are here. We have a special treat today, all the way from Australia. It's the one, the only, Ebony Bridges, the blonde bomber. I want to give her a special thank you because for those of y'all that are not aware, the time zone, there's a huge discrepancy in time between America and Australia. It's actually Friday there right now,
No,
and it's November. Legit.
it is. It's like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
November the 2nd,
yeah.
2021. Shit's
Yeah,
looking good
it's actually
outside.
it's a whole different year over there. So but it's evening time over there, right?
It's it's the morning. It's early morning.
Wow, dog. Because it's evening time here. That's so wild. All right.
Yeah.
So first things first. How does this morning find you? Is it a good morning?
Yeah, I mean, I was up a bit earlier just because obviously I have to do this, but I've got sparring later today. So yeah, just yeah, it's all good. All good, man. I wake
Oh,
up,
good.
feel good. I'm blessed. I'm breathing. I'm
Yeah.
healthy. Every day's a good day. Got my
Okay, cool.
coffee.
I think as a fan, right? The first thing I have to ask you, because you're a fan of the sport too, but you're also a professional fighter, but you're a fan of the sport just like
Yeah.
we are. So one of the first things I wanted to ask you, now that I've got you on here, is you saw this weekend's fight, and how did you score it, and what did you think about it? Breakus versus McCaskill.
Um.
Keep it PG.
what what did I think of? Okay, what did I think of it? I think that it was. I don't think it was. I don't think it was a quality display of female boxing. Firstly, um, I'm not saying that I was disappointed. I think we just had some such quality, high quality, skilled looking female fights that they pretty much didn't look like girls. Like they were boxing like men. Um, then when I saw that, obviously McCaskill had to make it rough. She had to do what she had to do to win, and that's what you do in a fight. You do that. You got to do what you got to do. There was um, there was no way she was going to box Breakhurst because we know obviously Breakhurst can box. That's her thing. She's very neat. She's usually very like in and out, keeps at a range and all this kind of stuff. But McCaskill dragged her into the fight. So then again, it comes down to like, was Breakhurst like she definitely didn't seem herself to me. They both looked like fucked at the fourth round. Like I was tweeting, like I was like, what the fuck? Like it's just only the fourth round. Like, and they weren't going crazy. Like it wasn't like it was a dig down Mexican inside war. It wasn't really
Mhm.
like that. It was just McCaskill was just swinging for the hills, and Breakhurst didn't seem to have her feet. I did score it to Breakhurst. I had her up 2 rounds. But I had her having the first round. I think I had the second round was really close for me. And
Mhm.
then it was like 3, 4, 5, 6 McCaskill. And then I had pretty much Breakhurst at the end of the fight. And she started to box a little bit more. I mean, I just think of the level of the fight. Like, I mean, considering Breakhurst is, considered pound for pound, or, there's always that discussion between her, Clarissa, and Katie for pound. She's right
Mhm.
up there for that. For that kind of fight, or what I saw, it didn't look nowhere near a pound for pound kind of fight. It didn't look like a top rated boxing female fight to me. That's all. And I mean, I think like I said, it's nothing really against those girls, but I mean that's the reality. I can't bullshit to me. I can't bullshit to you guys and bullshit and say, oh, it was beautiful to play her boxing skills. She's got beautiful technique. Those punches were straight, they were crisp, they were accurate, they were all fucking swinging. Like what was the percent? Like 17% connect or something like this. Like,
Mhm.
and that's what she won on. Like that's not great.
Mhm.
So I was a little bit disappointed because I was expecting something a lot more exciting. Not really exciting. I suppose it was exciting because they were like kind of brawling, but I mean, I just something a bit more classy, maybe, especially because Breakhurst is quite a classy boxer.
Well,
So
that kind of see that's the thing, and that's why like
maybe it's just the expectations.
yeah, because I'm so used to seeing Breakus establish the jab early in a fight, have her feet under her, maintain a little
Beautiful
bit of
one
distance,
twos.
and there was just none of it was really there. I credit Jessica for that. That what, that's what you got to do because that's the only chance that
Yeah.
I gave her. That like yo, you got to make it a rough fight because you're not gonna out jab her. You're not
No,
gonna outmaneuver her. You're not gonna.
but even in that case, McCaskill could have been still a lot more skilled in what she was doing. It could have, you know what I mean? Like, it was her plan of attack. Yeah, it was great. The idea, the pressure, but it was like out of control. Like, it was.
I think it was out of control in spots. One thing that I noticed very early in the fight, she was touching her. If you watch that first round, she was touching her with.
Well, you hit and hope. That's what it looks like to me. It was hit and hope.
Yeah, yeah. But there was hope. There was a lot of
There
hope
was
in
hope.
that
She was
shit.
hitting. She won. She's got all the belts, and it worked. But I mean, yeah, it looked like she was punching with her eyes closed.
All right, we're gonna leave that alone. We're gonna leave that alone.
Sorry, but I mean, I'm a boxing fan, and I'm analyzing the fight. I can see what it was. I can see what she did. She won. I give her respect for that. Like, she beat Breakers. I'm not disrespecting the girls at all, but I'm just talking as it is, plain and simple. Like, I mean, and I'm not going to sit here and say she's boxing like Katie Taylor, or she's boxing so clean and crisp like Clarissa or whatever. It wasn't like that. And it's not like she's sitting on the inside and boxing nice and clean like Barbie Juarez. It wasn't like that. So I'm not going to bullshit. Like, I'm not.
No, I think it
to please the fans. Like, that's what it is. It is what it is, and she won. Like, and it's great, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next fight and see how she fights in the next fight. So, because every fight's different. Styles make fights. So
exactly.
Seeing her up against Katie Taylor or P Soon, like, I think her and P Soon would be pretty crazy fight.
That would be a really rough fucking fight. Those two, dog, just coming forward like that's a train crash, man.
I see a lot of maybe headbutts.
Yeah, like it's gonna be flashes ahead every single round. Like,
yeah. So I mean, yeah.
I don't think it'll come to that. Now, another fight that I really wanted your opinion on, like, because this one pertains to your weight class or at or around your weight class. Shannon Courtney, Rachel Ball. You know how I scored it. I'm not going to get into that. We're here for you. How did you see the fight?
I saw Rachel. I saw like the judges. It was 77 to 70. So I said 77 to 75. I think I had Rachel up 2 rounds. But that was originally when I went and watched it again. I had it as a draw because of the sway rounds. I kind of swayed those rounds more towards Courtney. But I still think that it could have, again, still gone to Ball. So that's where I can see the discrepancy. But I didn't see enough for Courtney to have, to be up 2 rounds. I didn't see that. I saw, at the best, I saw her winning 4 rounds at the most. I mean.
Now, I'm going to ask you to stop being a fan, and I'm going to ask you to stop being a boxer. If that wasn't Shannon in there, if that was Ebanie Bridges in there with Rachel Ball, what does Ebanie do that Shannon didn't do to make it decisive?
I would have knocked her out.
I dig it.
I sent you a video on Sunday of knocking girl down sparring, so I can knock him out. But no, actually, honestly, besides the knockout, I wouldn't have been bouncing in and out. Like, why is she going in and out? And she's going too far out. She was coming out at long range. Like, especially at the beginning of the rounds. You know what I mean? I probably would have just sat on Rachel Ball's chest from the start. I would have been using my angles on the inside. I would have been, I would have had my guard up. I would have been tucking like this and popping like that. I wouldn't have been rolling wildly or swinging wildly for the heels. I would have kept it really tight on the inside. Use my head movement, which what she did was she used her head movement, but she wasn't using her hands or anything like that. So she was getting caught on the way in. She was moving her head, but she was still getting picked off because she was too far out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when she was coming in, she was getting caught in at that long and mid range. Then when she was inside, she was okay, of course, because Ball has long arms, you can't swing like that. Mm-hmm. So you know that. So sit on that inside. But I don't think Shannon had the fitness for that. I think she was, it took her a while to get find her range maybe. And then what would happen is because she was tired, she kind of step out a little bit. And then as she stepped out, she'd get hit. Yeah. You can't do that. You got to stay on that. You know what I mean? Like, you got to just stay head on her chest and work that body, come over the top, angles. You know what I mean?
I think that's because of her base style. Because Shannon's like a boxer puncher. She wants to bounce in and out. She's not going to apply that constant pressure. That just stay with her, stay on her, go to her body, rough her up, move in,
smash her body. Yeah, uppercuts. There was no uppercuts. Like, what the hell? Yeah, that's my favorite punch. So there was no uppercuts. I'm like, it was just and obviously, I mean, I have better defense, so I don't get, caught like that on the inside. But I mean, you know, you do, but
No, I would
not with
agree.
that.
I've seen like your guard
And even when I come in, I'm like high guard. You know,
exactly.
You're gonna punch my. Even if I come in, I don't move my head. You're gonna be punching my hands, just like Kovalev was punching Canelo's hands when he was coming in. Just punching the gloves, punching the gloves. Why is your
Exactly.
head there getting hit? Like, put your hands up. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, she has a lot to learn from that fight. I think she will learn. I mean, if she doesn't learn, then I don't know. But you know, she
Well,
should. There's a lot that she can learn from that fight.
they talking about having a second fight, and I'm like, you know, maybe it's just because she's a slickster. You know, Shannon sometimes fights with her hands down, and she's, you know, she's staying off the center by moving her head and all of that. But that's primarily her guard. Like if you watch her fight by fight, her defense is just slipping, rolling, slipping, rolling. She doesn't always.
Yeah, but then when she comes exactly, and then you can't. When you come on the inside, you need those hands up. When you're coming into that, in that you know, short range, you need those hands up. That's great at like long distance, even a bit of mid range. When you come inside, you need to cover up and bang. Like you can't just be sitting there. Yeah, you roll, but you need to be holding your hands when you roll. You can't just be around like this. Like you're not Pernell Whitaker. Like
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you're not like. You know, so I mean, yeah, and that's what happens. You fucking go wild and you get knocked out, and you know, and that's where I will capitalize. You know, and anyone that fights like that, anyone that's going to come in inside of me, I'll literally sit there. I'll be patient. I'll catch all your punches. As soon as you stop punching, you're fucking dead. Like you know what I mean?
Listen, I fucking seen it. I fucking seen it. You get into a real tight guard, the Mike Tyson thing. It's not the exact peekaboo where you're just like this and you go side to side. But I seen it. Catch all that shit on the gloves. Then once you mid range, mom. I seen you drop a couple of girls doing that. So it's like I know that it's a different fight. If it's Ebanie and Rachel, it's a different fight than if it's Rachel and Shannon. But
definitely. And if it was me and Shannon, then Shannon would have been asleep on that first round. Then she wouldn't be getting back up from that. You know that.
I was gonna get to that. I was gonna talk about like, yo, what if it's Ebanie Bridges, the blonde bomber from Australia, and Shannon Courtney, the blonde from the United Kingdom? What do you think happens, and what do you bring to the table that you don't think she can deal with?
Well, my power on her shitty defense. You know what I mean? I'd be patient with her. You know, I'll be patient with her. I'd catch, I'd parry. As soon as she comes in that short range where her defense is fucking disgusting, I would just capitalize on it. She's got good defense at long range. I'm shorter. You know, she's got good defense, long range, mid range. She's good with the head movement. As soon as she comes in, it just goes to shit. As soon as she starts punching, it goes to shit. So I just counter punch her on the inside. You know what I mean? And she would want to do that. She would want to come in on me. And if she didn't come on me, then I would just pressure her. She doesn't like pressure either. And then as soon as I pressure with my hands up. I'd come in and I'd be slipping and I use my jab to come in, you know, throw some uppercuts, wait for her to fire off, catch, and then again counter on the inside. You know, like it's. Mate,
look, Eddie Hearn, if you're listening, all right,
I don't think it would get to that though.
I'm just saying, like, Eddie Hearn, if you listening, man, that's a fight, dog. Like I could sell this fight, all right? So I know you could sell this fight.
And you know, like I mean, I saw a side of Shannon in that fight where I did see she has heart. She got up from that punch and she fought hard after that. She was a bit hesitant in that second round. That's why I gave it to Rachel the second round. She was quite hesitant, but she came up, she got heart, she got up and she came in, she fought. She composed herself as in she got back in the fight. And you know, she wasn't worried to come in and throw punches. But you can't be doing that with someone that's a good counter puncher, especially on the inside. You know what I mean? You know, and Rachel's a good counter puncher. She was counter punching her as well, but just at that long and mid range. You know, obviously the lengthy arms makes it hard.
It's exactly like you said that Shannon was there for the counter because she didn't stay on the inside. She get out, and if you get out,
that's when you're getting caught on the out, on the inside when you're coming in and when you're coming out. Stay in there. But I don't think she had the fitness. She was like blowing by like the third, fourth, fifth round. Well, you know what I mean?
You know, the other thing, she didn't have the fitness. And I'm not knocking her because it's all a learning process at the end of the day. She had never gone the distance before because I was looking at what fights that she had, and those were fights that ended abruptly. So you didn't have the rounds in the bank yet to go into deep waters with somebody like Rachel to where your fitness is going to hold up, so your form is going to hold up. You're not going to fall apart in the later rounds. Shannon had won the distance.
Yeah, I think she's like she's gone like 4 rounds twice.
Yeah,
maybe 3 times in a fight twice, and then I think a fifth 5 rounds. So you know, I mean, I've literally had my first fight was 3 rounds, my second fight was 1 round, 2 rounds, my third fight was 1 round, and my last fight was 6 rounds. That was my first 6-rounder against that tough Crystal Hoy in America. And yeah, I felt the difference in that 6 rounds. You know, because I had never gone past 3 rounds ever. You know, and only once. Like, I mean, so for me, I did notice that, you know.
Do you think she took on too much too soon? Do you think it was too? Because Rachel went 10 rounds with Katarina Tendes at lightweight. That's a bigger girl. No, it wasn't. It was 8 rounds. It was 8 rounds, but still, she went 8 rounds with that girl. Where Shannon never made it past the 6th.
No, yeah, it was a big step up fight. And hats off to her, especially in COVID. It's tough, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and I mean, she literally went from like body bags, kind of, you know what I mean? Like easy, really easy fights to Rachel. There was no in between. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know, like that's like what you want to do. Like, that's cool. That's good for her. Like, you know, good for her. But now she's got a loss. Now she's got that mental fucking head fuck that she's dealing with. You know what I mean? Now she's probably all messed up at home. Like, I mean, she's young. She's still got quite a bit in her career. Was it a smart move? I don't know. Great for the fans. You know, it's all, but you got to remember, it's not always about the fans. It's about your career, and you need to learn. You need to grow. You know what I mean? Like, I had my first fight was tough. That girl, like, she had a winning record. My first fight, I fought on a broken ankle. You know what I mean? And then I had 2 kind of average fights. One which was a week replacement. So you know, what can you do? And then my last fight was a big step up. Like, she was well experienced. But probably not a step up like Rachel. Like, she was experienced. She'd been around. She was tough. You know, you can't knock her out. She had skill. But she didn't have, like, she didn't have the speed of like a younger fighter, or, you know what I mean? But she had other things. So, you know, it's all about making the right choices. If you want to be a world champion, I think you need to take the right fights. Not just for the fans. Obviously, I want to fight for the fans, but also if you want to also develop as a fighter.
You're right.
Develop as a fighter, you got to look at the big picture. Like, you know what I mean? You got to make sure that you're fighting different styles. Okay, well, we got this one now. Okay, so you've gone against that. So now it's okay. Now we want this kind of fight to get you there. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what split team, my managements are really, really good at. You know, okay, well, this is the kind of fight you need next because we've done this, and now you need to work on this. And then it's all stepping stones to build you towards the bigger picture, which is the world title. You know what I mean?
And round you out as a fighter, because I think that she took on, in hindsight, now that I'm looking back, I'm like, damn, dog, perhaps that was too much too soon. Like Rachel.
It was a big jump. It was a big jump. I think maybe they underestimated her. I don't know.
Yes.
I wouldn't have underestimated her. But it's not just like, not only is Rachel really experienced, she is very awkward because she's so fucking tall.
Yeah, especially for that weight. Especially for that weight. Not a lot of girls running around like that.
She's so tall, you know. So I mean, something like that, but a little bit shorter, might have been good for Rachel. I mean, for Shannon, and then step it up, you know. So you know, you can say lots of things. In the end, it was a great fight. It really was a good fight for women's boxing. I didn't take anything away from the girls because it was a good fight. Man, I preferred to watch that fight. I won't watch that Breakhurst and McCaskill fight ever again. But I would, you know, I would watch. I would watch, you know, Shannon, Courtney, and Ball again, because I think it was a good fight. You know what I mean? Like, I liked the exchanges. They were neat. They kept the shape most part. You know, like there was excitement. You know, she got knocked down. She got back up. It was a good fight for women's boxing. So I mean, you know, in the end, I think they should both be really proud of it, because it was good. But you know, it was done is done now. And sometimes when you get thrown in the deep end like that, you learn really fast. But there's 2 options. You know, you learn and you get better, or, you know, you let it destroy you. And that's something we don't know yet. You know, she stormed off after the fight. She didn't pay any respect to Rachel, which is kind of.
Yeah, she didn't do a post-fight interview.
She didn't even. I mean.
She stormed off.
She had a little tantrum.
Yeah, and
like
I didn't like that.
No.
I didn't like that, because you have to show. It's kind of like the Anthony Joshua thing after the Ruiz fight. The day after the Ruiz fight, he addressed the public immediately. Like, look, I lost. He was the better man.
But not just that. Who, Ruiz?
No, Anthony Joshua. You remember?
Yeah, but Anthony Joshua gave him so much respect in the ring as well.
Yeah.
You know, heaps. Like, he was like, "Don't talk to me. He's not." You know what I mean? It was just a little spoiled brat kind of tantrum, and it's a pity. You know what I mean? Like, she's not a kid. She's 20s. How old is she? She's in her late 20s. You know, like, you can't be. You're a sports person. I get that you're disappointed. Okay. But in the end, you're a public figure. You know, you had this girl step up. You know, she was the underdog. She's come in. She's trained hard for you to give you a fight. You know, you pay the respect.
And that's what character. That's what character
That's
comes
character.
into.
Yeah. I mean, I would. You know, I've seen some people. I won't obviously make names, but I've seen some people that show a lot of disrespect to their step up fighters. You know, in their first couple of fights to these, you know, the journeymen that they're fighting to help them, like pushing them around and stuff. And I'm like, like, why are you putting on this fucking show? You do realize this person is here to help grow you. Like, why are you acting like a bully? Or why are you acting like that? Like, you don't need to do that. Like, show respect. Like, you know, I always have respect for everyone. You know, obviously when it gets up higher and it actually becomes rivalries, you can have a bit of tiff taff. But when you know, if it's not for them, you wouldn't be here. Come on.
They're they're the unsung heroes of the sport.
Yeah, of course.
Gabriel Rosado's, your Emmanuel Augustus's, those guys.
Yes.
Those is the guys that help to make the fighters great. And it doesn't.
Exactly.
There's nothing to be gained. Yeah. You said
know,
Chisora? You better stop. You better stop. Yo, listen, man. He in a big old fight. He about to be in a big old fight.
I
So
know.
I don't know if he's there yet. Now, look, a lot of people, I told everybody on Twitter that I was going to have you on here. So a lot of people, they had a lot of questions they wanted to ask you. And these are friendly questions, nothing too heavy. For example,
I love the heavy ones.
That you want the heavy ones? Nah, fuck that. This is a family show.
Don't be shy.
All right. Ellie113 says, where does Ebanie stand on 3-minute rounds? Does she think it should be for all women's fights or just championship fights?
If you're gonna make it for championship fights, it needs to be for all fights, because you got to get used to it. You can't just go from 2 minutes, you know, building your whole career and then get to a championship fight and get 3 minutes. You can't do that. You know. Look, I've always been a fan of 2-minute rounds. I like the explosiveness of it. I like to just go out there and just, like, you know, go hard in that sense. But at the same time, I do see the validity of the 3-minute rounds. I wouldn't complain either way. You train, whatever you got to do, you train for. You know what I mean? But the fact is we're not going to get paid more for it. I know we won't. That's not the reason. You know what I mean? Like, the reason. The minutes of our rounds and how long we fight for isn't the reason why we have shitty pay. So we're going to go up and we're going to train harder. We're going to be in there for longer under more, you know, risk of injury, risk of getting KO'd, all these kind of things for the same amount of pay. It's really not going to get any more, because it's not about the minutes that we're in there that we're getting paid for. We're getting paid for the people watching us. You know what I mean? We're getting paid for the revenue, and I mean, it might get more revenue, but it's going to take quite a while, and I'm not going to be around for that.
I agree with you on this. That and I actually enjoy the 2-minute rounds, which is what made me gravitate towards the sport, because it's fast paced. It's you got 2 minutes to get it done. So a lot of girls, they come out guns blazing. You get a good fight soon as the fight starts. If it's a 3-minute round, that's going to slow the fights down. But more importantly, you guys don't get paid by the minute, and you don't get paid by the hour. So essentially, they would be adding another minute of fighting to every single round for the same money.
Yeah.
So before you do that, you got to pay the money before you do that.
Let's start getting. It's a real cop out to say that the reason we're not getting, the reason we don't get paid the same as the men, or it's a real cop out to say that is because we do 2-minute rounds. That's fucking bullshit. Yeah. It's got nothing to do with the 2-minute rounds. That's absolute bullshit. Because 3 minutes, I don't think it would be much different. You get a bit more KOs, but I really don't think you're going to get that many more KOs. You know, I don't really see it being a much bigger difference. You know,
no, I don't even connect it, because I'm like, okay, it's just like any other job. They're fighting for 2-minute rounds right now, right? For X amount of dollars. What y'all talking about is adding another minute to that. Okay, before you add that other minute, you need to add that other money. Because that's essentially more work you putting on them. If you're gonna put more work on them, then you got to put more money. Otherwise, stop talking about it.
Exactly. You know? And we're not talking like, I get, like, I understand that women don't get as much revenue or eyes on the sport as men. So I honestly don't expect to get paid the same as a man. I'm not really like that. But for me to get offered $4,000 for a fucking world title fight, you know what I mean? Or not even $4,000, or, you know, I mean, even $10,000, like, you're not going to get the men getting paid that much. And that's like for an extra, what, 12 minutes or whatever, 12, you know, 15 minutes or whatever it is, you know, like of fighting, that they're going from $4,000 offers. You know, we saw even overnight $4,000, $6,000. I've heard stories of $2,000, $3,000 for world title fights. You know, that doesn't even cover your fucking shit. Like, you know what I mean? And for that, for an extra 15 minutes of work, the men are getting hundreds of thousands. Okay, you got this. Obviously, they make millions, but I'm not even looking at the millions. I'm looking at the hundreds of thousands, because that's a minimum, I think, for a world title for a male.
Yeah, I mean,
You know
I know that Eleda Alvarez, right? Eleda Alvarez, when he was the WBO champion, which didn't last very long, his minimum as a champion was $1 million.
Yeah.
$1 million. Now you talking about making these girls fight for a couple more minutes, but you're not talking about the bread. So before you bring in the minutes, you got to talk about the bread. That y'all got to put the bread up, because y'all want to do more work.
And I'm not, and again, like, I'm not expecting to get paid millions. Like, yeah, we can get that, but at the same time, I do understand the revenue in your eyes on the sport. You know, like, we do bring eyes on the sport. People are getting more into it, but it's not the same as a man. It really isn't. I'm not gonna bullshit. Like, you know what I mean?
You know,
it's not, and that's why I do what I do with the way that I try and promote myself, because it's not just about getting boxing fans, and you know what I mean? Like,
no, you're absolutely right. You're right.
Female boxing, unfortunately, we need to get eyes on the sport in more ways than one, whether it be personality, whether it be the way you look, whether it be whatever the hell it is that you're doing, because we don't have that already. We need to draw people in to actually get interested. You know, I was talking to Susie Q, she's one of my good friends, and she said, man, when back in the day, you know, like 10 years ago, like, women's boxing really wasn't anything at all, you know. And so she used to have to go out of her way to put on these big performances, like walk out with all the Brazilian dances and all this kind of stuff, just to get interest on her fights. Because, you know, like, okay, this is a bit more entertaining than just the fight, you know, because that's just how it is. So, I mean, you gotta use every avenue that you can. We got to try and get as many eyes in the sport on women's boxing as possible. You know,
and I think that the difference now is that the problem that it had in the past is that nobody knew the fighters, because there were good fighters. Holly Holm was a good fighter. Mia St. John was a good fighter. Lucia Riker. There's a lot of girls that they were great fighters, but the problem was the promoters weren't behind them. They weren't telling the stories, and that's what I see is different now. That now they're telling the stories. That it's not just two random girls fighting. This is Ebanie Bridges, the blonde bomber. You know, Shannon. Courtney, Rachel Ball, the counselor who fights, you know more about them, and that sparks interest. And that's what was missing before. They're like, yo, people didn't know those girls. They don't know them from nowhere.
Exactly. And now that we have platforms to promote fighters or promote yourself, like, you know, that's what I do. I promote myself, because people need to know Ebanie Bridges, but beyond the fighter, because it's not just about the fighting. It is about the story. It is about the character. It is about entertainment, you know. That you got to get the fans to fall in love with you, not just your boxing. I mean, or hate you. It's one or the other. There's two characters in boxing. You got the one that everyone hates that they go to watch because they want to see lose, or the one everyone loves that they go to watch because they want to see win. Either way, they both sell fucking tickets. In the middle ground, it's not that much.
That's Ricardo Mayorga. That's Ricardo Mayorga when he was talking all his shit to Oscar. Like, yo, he was talking mad shit. He said some old shit in Spanish. A lot of shit. A lot of motherfuckers ain't like that shit. Yeah. A lot of motherfuckers watch that fight. They like, good ass fight. With Floyd Mayweather, it's the same principle.
Same, exactly. Clarissa Shields, you know what I mean? And you know, it's just you know, it's whatever it is, it's gonna sell fucking tickets, you know. And you gotta not choose, but you know, if you're lucky enough to fall into either one of those, you know, you can't say it's a bad thing to be hated, because you know, people will watch you more closely when they hate you. And then when they want to see you fail, people will watch you more when they want to see you fail than when they want to see you succeed. When you see you successful and you're good, like, they're kind of like, oh, this is great. But there's not that inside, like, oh, I just fucking want this bitch to fail. Like, you know what I mean? And like, seriously, like, can't wait to see her get fucking knocked out, you know, like, and I'm sure I got a few people like that, you know, but
You
If
do,
I can
but
have
we're
a
not
bit of
going to talk about them because
no, but
you got them
yeah,
people.
but but I think I'm also, the way I am, I have a lot of love as well, and I think if you can work a bit of both of it, then whatever, and I don't have hate because I talk shit. It's not like that. So I mean, it's not like I disrespect people and people don't like me because I'm a nasty person. It's not like that. It's just literally I just want to see fucking the Barbie fail.
No, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of and that is a lengthy conversation that I would like to have with you on
Yeah.
another time because
Yeah, of course.
that's a big conversation. But it's the idealism that people have, and to me, it's honestly an antiquated ideal. That like, who says that a person can't do their thing, have their aesthetic value, but at the same time be a serious athlete? Those things aren't mutually exclusive. You can be
Yeah.
both. Like, it ain't a
Apparently not.
problem, but
Yeah. We won't
people
go.
in their
We won't.
ideals.
We
So
won't go
so
into it.
let's get to a couple
More
more of these
questions. Yeah.
questions. All right. IBT Immortal Boxing Truth asked, what has been your most standout positive interaction with the people you interact with online?
Stand out.
The money from the socks, I would have to say, stands out.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'm making
That's
a lot of money from that shit.
what I'm saying. Like, if something stands out, this motherfucker paid damn near $1,000 for some socks with sweat on them.
But I get money for like photos of my socks on the floor.
Yo, dog.
I'm not
Get
even
your money,
joking.
yo.
I don't even have to post it out.
No, get your money. Get your money.
So I'm
Get
getting
your
some
money.
side hustle income. I mean, that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty good. Like I'm not doing anything bad. It's just I'm getting money for dirty laundry and the socks. I mean, I wouldn't do anything else. I'm not. I think there's a for me there's a line as well, but fuck it. Like
Well, here's the line, but I'm saying if somebody in the United Kingdom has a couple of sterling or a couple of pounds or whatever they got, if yo dog, if you gonna pay that just for some socks, yo, I got mad socks, bro, with sweat on them and holes too. Some of them got holes in them. I seen you know. You know what I'm saying? Like
you gotta wear them for a week, like
no
make
real
sure
shit.
No, but it's like there's a difference, like like ankle socks, like short socks, long socks, striped socks. There's
So do
preferences.
you have premium pricing based on the sock?
There's preferences. It's not just like any sock.
Wild,
Like they actually have preferences.
That's fucking wild, man. Like based
Fuck
on
whatever. Hey, just throw it at me. I'm just like giving off my PayPal. I don't
I'm
care.
saying, think about it this way. If you go, I don't know what stores they got out there, but I'm going to say, look, you go to the local store, you buy yourself a pack of socks. The pack of socks costs you probably $10.
$10.
You turn that $10 into $100 just with one sock. Like, yo, this dude in the UK, he want my sweaty socks. Here you go.
Right. Yeah.
So why not?
I should drop the price a little bit, but because I'm getting asked so much, but some people just can't afford that. But I don't know.
Yeah, you got to make the socks available to the common man.
Yeah, true. I know. But that's where the photo of the socks comes in. Because if you can't afford the socks, then you can get a photo of them on the floor. So I mean, and that's $100. So I mean,
that's fucking wild, yo.
But yeah, no. Other than that, honestly, I want to talk about the positivity of obviously my interaction. So everything. Like I love everyone online who makes me laugh and sends me good, like, nice supportive comments. When I had all that stuff going on with our old mate Lexi Doyle giving me shit, we won't go into it though. But I had like a flood of DMs of people saying to me how much they appreciate me and how much of a breath of fresh air I am, because I am real. Don't change. Don't let anyone tell me how I should be. Don't ever change. I'm who I am. I'm good how I am. And just like genuine shit, not just like, hey, like, can I have your socks, or like, you're hot or beautiful. It was not like that. It was literally just, hey, don't let the people get to you. You're doing right. Like, who you are is, like, we love you. Don't change. Blah blah blah. There's not many people, real people don't listen. And all this. And it was like there's so many of them. Like with that one what's that one hater bring up so much love and so much kind words, and people just going out of their way just to tell me that, you know, they love who I am, not how I look, not only just who I am. And it just supports and it shows, you know, just, you know, be yourself, because yeah, you know,
No,
and
it's like
that's
the
what I obviously
Ballerina
what I
Loretta
stand
thing.
for.
It's like the
Yeah.
Ballerina Loretta thing that, like, yo, you know, I don't know, and I respect everybody's perspective, like, because I'm not even trying to disrespect Lexi's perspective for what it's
Yeah,
worth.
of course.
I
Yeah.
still got love for it. It's just that, like, yo, you can't tell people how they gotta be. You understand?
Yeah.
Being an
Yeah,
athlete.
or what they got, how they got to do, and how they should run their page and run their followers. Like, if you get offended by fucking like funny gifs, if you get offended by like a gif of someone with some moisturizer, like, I mean, get off my page. Like, it's funny. Like, I find it so funny. Like, I mean, it's the creativity of some of them, you know, and they do it and they know, because I'm laughing, and they laugh because they know they're doing it to be funny. Like,
No,
you know, it's
see. This is what it is,
like
Ebony.
I get my popcorn and I
You
sit
got a
down
dark
and let's
sense
have a
of
laugh.
humor. You got a dark sense of humor. Like, you got a sense of humor like a guy. So it's like you ain't
Yeah.
gonna be sensitive about like some little
No.
shit. Like, bro,
Yeah.
like, some people are sensitive. I understand, and I
Yeah.
respect their sensitivity. Not insensitive, but
Yeah.
everybody got a different sense of humor. Your sense
Yeah.
of humor is like a guy's sense of humor.
It
So
is.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. I'm literally like a tomboy. I'm a tomboy in like in a Barbie like look. Like, you know, I grew up with boys. I have a twin brother. I have an older brother. I don't have sisters. You know, like, I was always a tomboy. You know, I was a mechanic when I left school. It's the first thing I did. And then, you know, bodybuilding is male dominated. Boxing, male dominated. I'm around men. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's and even like the, you know, the girls that I'm around, they're not really girly, you know. So you need to have that humor. And, you know, I worked in like bars and clubs like with men, like, you know, so you need to get men, like, and I mean, I've been around that, like, I'm just practically that. Like, it's, you are who you hang out with, you know what I mean? And that's just how I am. So yeah, I'm so used to it. Like, it's not like I just woke up looking like this. I've been looking like this like my whole life. So I'm used to men's comments, and it actually doesn't phase me. Like, I mean, I walk down the street with my friends, and guys or girls, and they were like, oh, look at that person looking at you, or look, they're just staring, and I don't even notice it, like, because I'm just so, I don't look at other people. I don't look at other people going, oh, they're looking at me, or looking at other people to see if they're looking at me. Like, I don't do that. But my friends who aren't used to it, maybe like they would notice it, you know. But I'm not there to do that. I'm just being me. I'm just, you know, getting up. I'm fucking putting some clothes on, you know, and I'm just being me, and that's it. And you know, I have a partner, and he knows, boys will be boys. They're only human, you know. They're only human. Of course, they're gonna look, or they want to say they're only human, you know. So, and what can you do about it? You're going to get upset about it, and just embrace it, because it's like what I've said. It's never negative, you know. Like, the only thing that not upsets me, but the only thing that I think is bad, or that I should be offended by, is when people start judging and calling me a tramp or a slag, or these kind of things, because that's, and like what Lexi did, and telling me to fuck off because, you know, because they didn't agree with who I am, you know, like, or they don't understand who I am. That's an insult. That's what offends me, not someone fucking putting up a gif of him jerking off. That doesn't offend me. Like, that's, for me, that's like almost a compliment. Okay, well, I'm glad that you can have
No,
some
because
nice
one
times
is a
about me.
personal attack. One is an outright personal attack, you know, and that's why I didn't want to spend too much time, because there was a lot of negativity. There was a lot of negativity associated with that. I didn't want to really, you know, but I get it. It's like, you can't tell somebody how they, like, you just can't tell people what to do, bro. At the end of the day, that's all. Like,
Exactly.
you can't
Just
tell
accept
people.
everyone for who they are. That's it. I always push that, you know, and try and have an open mind and go, okay, well, that's not. Guess what? I'm Ebony, you know, and fucking you're whatever. You know, we're not the same people. Like, it's just, you know, how it is. So, and just accept that you're not me, I'm not you. So, fucking move on.
Yeah, I mean, it's the high horse shit. That's why I don't argue. Yeah, it's the high horse shit. Like, somebody get on their high horse, like, I'm gonna tell you this, that. Like, all right, bro. Okay, bro. All right. Now we got
questions we got.
All right, now another one is James Head asked. This is a serious question. Would you consider a move away from Australia to get more fight opportunities, presumably in the United Kingdom?
Yeah, I would consider it. I was actually thinking. Obviously, you seen my tweet the other day. I was thinking about it. And I spoke to my manager about it. Particularly America, because obviously my management team's in America. And they said at the moment it's just all so uncertain, and there's so much competition with such little shows that you know, it's not really going to be, it wouldn't not really be worth it. There wouldn't be much difference between here, there, or Australia. It's all going to be the kind of the same thing. Unfortunately, I'm not at that point in my career like these other girls that are fighting for world titles or are fighting for things where it's kind of, when you want to put fights on, that's kind of, you know, you got more chance at that kind of level. I mean, and also you just, it's so uncertain. What, I go overseas, or say, for example, I pack up and I go overseas 5 months, 6 months, you know, not teaching, not working, not making money, waiting for a fight that never happens. And then you guys haven't even had a second wave yet. I mean, we're getting a second wave here and it's bad. You know, the second wave's like, for us, it's like 5 times the first wave, you know?
Really?
So, yeah, you guys haven't even finished your first wave yet. So, you know, I could get over there and it could get worse, you know, and then I might not be able to come back or whatever, you know. It's just at this time, it's so uncertain that I can't really say anything. I would love to come over there.
Well, I think stability has a lot to do with it, because in the land of make-believe, in my brain, right? Let's say Eddie Hearn is like, yo, dog, you're going to come to the UK. We're going to get you on a couple of cards. Then you would know that the finances are there. That
100%.
So that would justify the move. But it's not
Yes.
just moving for the sake of moving. You have to know that you're moving to get fights. So
Definitely.
Eddie Hearn, are you listening, Eddie?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hint.
Yeah, definitely.
Hint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. I mean, you know, I definitely want some assurance, you know, that yeah, I'm moving and I'm gonna be able to survive. And like, schools aren't even in the UK. There's no teaching, so I can't even teach. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know about bars open. Like, how am I gonna make money? You know, so if I'm not fighting, I'm not gonna, you know, make money unless I get, you know, Eddie Hearn or someone can hook me up for a sponsorship where I can literally just come. Hey, if there's anyone out there that wants to pay me a weekly wage to come to the UK and train and hope to get a fight, I'll come. You know, if you want to give me a weekly wage so I can survive, I can eat and I can train. You know, doesn't have to be a lot. I'm not a high liver. I just, you know, I just want to be able to train and survive. Then yeah, hey, definitely consider it. But yeah, and unless that's the case, you know.
No, yeah, I mean, because that's what I figured. Like, given the circumstances, that's what it would take. Because at least back there in Australia, you know that you have your job, you have your teaching job, you have that.
Yeah,
to fall
I
back
got my
on.
family and everything here. You know, like my cat is here. I want to get him, but he's not coming to me.
I dig it. But yeah, like it's a common sense question that if it were the right opportunity, I'm pretty sure she would go. If they say, okay, well, we're gonna sign to the Matchroom, we're gonna have a couple of fights.
Yeah. Well, if I was to even sign with a fight overseas, like, you know, say COVID wasn't here, then I would, as soon as I found out, I'd probably get up and go and do camp, the whole camp there. I wouldn't come a week out. I wouldn't come 2 weeks out. I just get up there and I do camp there. That's what I would want to do. I was last with my fight in America. I was there for like 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks, I think. And it was good, but I would have loved to be there longer, you know.
I dig it. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Ask Ebony who she thinks is the greatest woman boxer of all time. It's a broad question.
Yeah, that's really hard. I mean, I love Lucia Riker. I don't know.
I don't think there's an answer. I mean, there's not an answer. Not really.
No, I mean, depends on what you're looking at. Like, I mean, I feel like there's so many different skills. Like, for example, Katie Taylor, everyone goes on about how skilled Katie Taylor is, you know, which she is. She's very clinical, but she still has weaknesses. You know what I mean? Obviously, like, on the inside has some weaknesses and stuff like that. And then you've got, like, for example, my style fighter, I like Barbie Juarez. You know, for me, like, she's brilliant. You know, the way she comes in and the way she sits on the inside, but she can box as well. You know, in and out. It just depends. And then obviously you got Clarissa Shields. Like, she's getting better and better each fight. Michaela May is looking good. I mean, you know, I also love Ann Wolf. Like, you know, there's so many. I don't think I could put it. I don't think.
I mean,
I don't think women's boxing is being.
I think the best way to address that question is, who do you think is the most complete female boxer you've seen? Complete, because best that's a lot of stuff. Who's the most complete or versatile, well-rounded? That would have been the better way to ask that question. And for that, I would have went with Breakus. prime breakers within a certain number of years had power, had boxing, had athleticism in a certain number of years. That's not the one that we got here today. But if you watch like around the time she fought Oxandia Castillo, okay, prime breakers. I would have gave it to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the next question. Are you planning to put the teaching on hold to accelerate your boxing career? Is Eddie Hearn about to become the Dana White of women's boxing? He might.
Yeah. I do think that. I agree. I think he will be. He's one that's really, because you're in America, but women's boxing in America is still so well behind.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, like, they can pretend, you can all pretend, and like as a world as a whole, we can think that women's boxing is on the rise. I mean, it is very, very slow, especially in America and in Australia. UK, and it's because of Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is the one that's making it rise, and obviously being UK and British, that's where it's at, where they're making the money and who's really promoting it. I feel like in America they're just being forced, just like in Australia they're being forced to promote it. Like, for example, in Australia you have to now on the pay-per-view fights have at least one female fight like that, and they have to do that. And it's like, oh, we've got to find a female fight. Like, like it's not like, oh, it's not like they're embracing it. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, women's boxing's good. Like, I think Eddie Hearn truly believes it. And if he doesn't, he puts on the show that he does, and that helps sell it.
I mean, it's not just Eddie though. It's also it's also the Sorlin
Lou
brothers.
DiBella does it as well.
Yeah,
Lou DiBella as well. He's been promoting women's boxing for a long time. His platform's just not as big, but he has also been very supportive. He was like back a few years ago, if you wanted to sign, if you were a female and wanted to sign a promoter, it was Louis DiBella. So and then
I would say Lou DiBella. I would say Sarlin Promotion, the Sarlin brothers, Sarlin Promotions. They got a lot of female fighters. They've had a lot of female fighters. Like, they got Sophia Leash. They got Katarina Thanders. I think they got a couple of other girls.
They had a lot of, like, the Germans and stuff. They had that for years as well. That's true. Yeah. I feel like Europe
is a better place. Yeah.
Yeah, it
for
is. Like, even like 10 years ago, Europe was better.
Yeah. Because
they don't seem to
in Norway. In Norway, I think I read that Cecilia Brækhus packed the house with 10,000 people in Norway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Eva Brodnicka, who Eddie Hearn just signed, she's been with Timex Promotions for a while. I look at the fights, I look at the crowd, I'm like, oh, there's people there though. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's actually people, they selling tickets. So it seems that Europe is a little bit more ahead of the curve when it comes to the sport than America. I know that.
Definitely.
I know that.
Yeah. I mean, talking about America and the cards, where the fuck is Shields? Like, why isn't she not on there?
I was asking the same. I was like, Premier Boxing Champions, right? I think that because Dimitri Salita seems to have a relationship with Showtime, which is a network here, he has a relationship with Showtime, and Premier Boxing Champions has a relationship with Showtime. To me, I think that she should be with them because it makes sense. She's a good ambassador for that particular brand. But, it's like you said that, it's not as advanced here as it is in, dude.
Sorry, I had to.
I dig it. But it's a natural fit, but it's because things are slow moving depending on what part of the world we talking about.
Hey, real slow down here, but anyway, we don't have, the problem is not enough fighters here. Okay, what else have we got? What was it? Was it Eddie? What was it? It was a Eddie Hearn question, and what was something before that?
It was are you planning to put the teaching on hold?
Yeah.
To accelerate your career.
Oh, I mean, I can't give up teaching without a plan, without money. You know what I mean? As soon as that opportunity comes, 100%, I'll put teaching on hold. But at the same time, I love teaching. I love it. Like, I enjoy my job. I love going to work and teaching. Kind of hate having to get up at 5 o'clock and train before work, and then go to work and then train after work, and then come home and do schoolwork, and then, cook and all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, I still love it. I still love my job. So I
Yeah,
think
and you might not
even
have to because I mean, like my Hamadouche is still a cop. Delphine Passoon is still a cop. Like they still have their day
yeah,
jobs. They train,
yeah.
but
I
they
mean,
did.
but that's because they don't have the hookups like Terry or say Shannon Courtney, who literally said, okay, look, here you go. You don't need to work. We're just going to pay you to box. Like that's because they don't. I'm telling you right now, if they had the opportunity to not work and just train, you would do it. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to go just give it up with no money.
So hold on,
you
you
know,
telling me that if Eddie Hearn parachutes into that lawn that's behind you where them trees is at, and he
you got a
says,
good property.
"This is a nice,
That's my front
I
yard.
it's a nice property." That's what I'm saying.
That's my front yard.
If he parachutes,
It
then
looks
he
like Eddie's
lands there,
garden.
and he's like, "Yo, look, I'm gonna put you on six. No, let's 3 fight deal. 3 fight deal to fight." He's building, let's say, a Courtney fight. Would that be enough to say, like, yeah, yo, I'll put the teaching aside for now because this will help my career along.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Yeah,
dig it. I dig it.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm pretty lucky with my school as well. I get time off with fights and stuff. I always take the last 2 weeks off, into coming into my fight. So they're
I
pretty
dig
good.
it. Klitsch asked, when is your first trip to Ellen Road planned for?
Do you know what this is about?
I have an idea. I know
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
an
yeah.
inside joke or something, but
Yeah. So this is like a football question because, or like soccer, because I'm now like a semi lead supporter. Voted by the fans. And I think Ellen Road is where their stadium is. So the answer to that is when I come to the UK. My first trip to the UK, I'm going to do a nice tour. I want to get there before I have a fight, and I want to come and see the country. I want to come see my fans. I want to stop into places. I want to see the place. You know what I mean? I want to go to England, Wales, Scotland. I want to see all these places, and I want to go see a football match. And I said to them that I'm like, I've got a soft spot for Leeds, because of everything. Their fans are brilliant. Like, I mean, I'm going to get so much trouble for this off everyone else, but they're supportive. You know what I mean? They seem to, they won the poll, so I've got to do what's right. But I think with any kind of sport and any team that you support, you need to get there. You need to watch it. You got to really make sure you're vibing with it. You can't just be like what they call a plastic fan.
yeah.
So it's pending. It's in paper. It's in pencil. I could get there and be like, fuck this shit. I am not going to support this team, or like the people. But I mean, I'm definitely up for it, and I'll be excited to come down and check out Ellen Road and go hang out in Leeds for sure. It's going to happen. But my trip to the UK is going to be huge.
I got to pick your brain. It's a big fight weekend.
Yeah.
Dillian White, Alexander Povetkin. What do you think about it? How do you feel? Who's your money on? Got to make a decision, man.
I'm going to go with Dillian.
All right.
Yeah. I think that Dillian's gonna box. I think Dillian's gonna try and box him and use his range. Obviously, I think he's getting better and better at that. Each fight that he's doing, he seems to be getting better at using his jab and keeping his range. So I think that, and he's had quite a lot of time to be working on it. I don't know about the whole change of the trainer thing. I don't know how that's going to go down.
That makes me nervous. I'm not gonna lie. That makes me nervous.
But Dillian has pretty good boxing IQ. He knows his boxing. He has really, really good boxing IQ. You can hear him. You hear him break down fights, and and give predictions, and he knows his shit. So I think and he's only getting more and more, obviously better. He didn't have a big amateur background. So I think every time he steps in the ring, besides that last one, that VAC fight, but you got to remember that was
short notice.
It was short notice, and he was going through a fucking hell of a time last year with all of that stuff that was going on. So you might that plays on your mind as well. So I think we're going to see a really good Dillian. He looks super fit. He looks in condition. Povetkin's, we can keep saying he's old. How much more battering can he take? He's so tough. We get it. He can take punches and he's tough and he is strong as well. But he is really getting on, and this time off, all through this time, that's a year is a long time when you're an older fighter.
Yeah.
So I think I do see Dillian probably knocking him out, to be honest. But
knockout.
yeah, left hook. But I don't put it past Provodkin maybe dropping Dillian with his left hook either.
Yeah, because it's the way that he is. He goes side to side like a metro, and he throw a short hook. Like, he don't wind it up or nothing. It's short.
No.
And
Yep.
so
I can see a surprise sneaky left hook, maybe a little drop knockdown there. But yeah, I'm really excited for it, because it hasn't been very many big male fights. Oh, got my boy Sean Porter fighting this weekend, even though it's not like a super big fight. But
I'm not mad at Sean. I'm not.
No, not at all.
Sean is, and I've been saying this
himself,
he's the hardest working welterweight out there. Ugas, Garcia, Thurman, Spence. It ain't a lot of people he ain't fight. So I ain't mad at him.
Everyone that knows me and has watched me over time, especially on Instagram or listened to my podcasts, knows that I'm a huge fan of Sean Porter. And I was one of the only people that was supporting him in the Spence fight, saying that he could beat Spence, and you all underestimating him. Everyone's telling me I'm on drugs, I don't know shit. I'm like, no, you don't know fucking shit. You clearly don't know shit, because if you know Sean, he is not going to give him an easy night, and he can definitely come out.
Let me tell you one motherfucking thing. All fucking Twitter, all fucking Facebook, all YouTube comments like, oh, Spence gonna knock him out. I'm like, bro.
I wasn't on Twitter back then, see? So if I was on Twitter back then.
All these people were saying that Errol was gonna knock Sean out. I'm like, bro, he not knocking this dude out, dog.
No
like,
way,
no. Bro. Not Sean.
People don't know shit. No, shit. And he is a fucking serious athlete. He works hard.
He takes his job seriously. Like, you don't hear about Sean blowing weight, and he was at the club and he was drinking some shit. Like, you don't hear about that shit.
No. So yeah, I think this. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's wrong with him taking this fight? Keep him. I don't even think it's really keep busy fight. He's a professional. Why would you say no to a paycheck?
No, look. Even if we go as far as saying that Formella is a keep busy fight, my thing is that if anybody over there earns a gimme fight, it's Sean, bro. He fought Ugas, he fought Danny, he fought Thurman, he fought Spence. He can't get a gimme fight.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. Give him. I hope he knocks him out. Anyway,
he probably will.
100%. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But I think this guy that he's fighting is a bit of a long range, kind of a bit like a not amateur style.
If he's a long range guy,
if
he's a long range outside guy, then Sean is going to be a nightmare for him, because nobody keeps Sean out. Nobody. Kel Brook couldn't keep Sean out. He lost. Kel won the fight, but he couldn't keep Sean out. He kept getting his chest. He had to turn him up.
Yeah, and he's actually improved so much since then. I saw a lot, especially when he was fighting Ugas. He was boxing beautifully. He's controlling that. Like, his boxing was beautiful, in and out, using his feet, and he's a shorter fighter. But he knew not to sit and trade and let Ugas get his feet, and he was boxing so nice. I've watched that fight a few times, and I'm like, people give him slack for it and say he lost it. No way, man. Like,
no, that's the thing. Yo, I swear to God, that's the same. I'm like, yo.
He was controlling the whole fight, and his movement
in the Ugas fight, he was boxing. Stay in front of that dude, because Ugas is a big kid for welterweight.
Exactly, and people underestimate him and say that he can't box. Man, he boxed beautifully. His feet were beautiful, in and out, moving in angles, and just taking his time and patience and stuff like that. Like,
Sean had one drawback, and I think that he corrected it. I think he did. The only drawback that I've ever seen with Sean is that he gets so close to the guy that he smothers
his punches.
And I can't even say that he still has it, because I remember in the Spence fight. In the Spence fight, he closed the gap on him. He was going to Spence's body, and he hurt him.
Yeah. And then he would angle off on the inside against Spence and throw again. Yeah, 100%. Anyways.
Yeah, Sean Porter, man. Big Sean Porter fans over here, yo.
Yes.
Katie Taylor, Delphine Pursoon. I think I heard your take, but for those who didn't, what do you think happens in a rematch?
I'm just trying. There's his son here. I'm trying to get my head around. I see Katie Taylor outboxing Pursoon. I don't see her knocking her out. It's going to go to the distance, and I think she's going to be a pretty clear, clinical boxing lesson for Pursoon. I think she's going to punch and move. She's not going to stay still. And it's going to make it really hard for P-Soon. P-Soon's going to get really frustrated and just keep swinging and coming in with a head. So, yeah, I don't say I and that's how it should be done. That's the game plan.
Yeah.
But it's a lot easier said than done. I see Katie Taylor. She's a pretty smart boxer. You know, I think she will come back and want to correct even though she won. You know, there's obviously a lot of questions. I think she wants to right her wrong, so to speak. And yeah, I think that's how it's going to go down. And she's going to keep that range when she comes in on the inside. When if they get too close, she's going to hold. Just hold.
Yeah.
Push out. Move.
I think she's going to piece her up. She's going to keep the combination short, maybe 2 to 3 at a time, 2-3 punches at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Not going bowling, get out. War. Exactly. Like you know, AJ Ruiz, like Duran and Sugar Ray. You know what I mean? Like just that. The second fights of those.
Because the thing is, Katie, I love her to death. By the way, I love her to death. But she likes to tear up. You know, she likes to trade on the inside. And with Delphine, you don't want to do that. That's what she wants, and you don't want to give her that. She hits hard.
You just want to pick her apart.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of fights this weekend. Now that I think about it, ain't Tim Tszyu about to fight Jeff Horn this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's during the week.
Yo, who you got for that fight, man?
It changes every fucking day. I originally had Jeff Horn because I think it's a huge step up for Tim Tszyu.
It is.
Because he hasn't. I don't know if you've seen it.
He looks all right. If you've been watching him.
But his quality, no offense to these Aussies, you know, but they're not a thing really special. Here, they're not powerful. You know, he gets away with getting, like his dad, he gets away with getting hit. He takes some to give some because they're not punchers. They can't punch. Jeff Horn can punch.
He should have fought Mike. I think he should have fought Michael Zarafa as a litmus test before you go fighting Jeff. That's what he should have did. Fight Mike.
Yeah, well, Michael's a natural. He's heavier. He's naturally a lot heavier. But he's not as awkward. But he can box. The problem with Jeff Horn is that he's awkward as fuck. And he's messy, and Tim has not had anything like that.
Nope.
I mean, you know, he could have someone that's awkward. He could have had someone that's awkward, but not as strong. But now you've got strong, awkward, experienced. Yep. You know,
and Rodden Ha, because he won the fucking Zarafa rematch, and that was a terror.
Yeah, but you know, you see the first Zarafa fight and the second Zarafa fight. It was two different Jeff Horns, and that's the thing with Jeff Horn. Is that you know which one are we going to get on the day? You know, we've had COVID that can really turn people off. You know, it's been rescheduled. This fight's been rescheduled like 3 times. You know, like how serious was he during the first few months of COVID? I know Tim Tszyu was very serious. He's young. He's really hungry. He's on his way up. Jeff's already achieved so much things. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he doesn't need to be like in there grinding away in the gym. You know, staying away from family and all that kind of stuff. When there's no certainty of a fight, where with Tim Tszyu doesn't care if there's a fight or not. He wants to continue to be great and continue to grow. So that's another thing is the mindset. Tim Tszyu's mindset second to none. It's just exactly like his dad. You know, he's been brought up with that around that environment. So you know, I think he's got that. He's got that nice straight right. His timing. Everyone I speak to that spars him, because I got a few boys at my gym that spar him. You know, his timing's beautiful. I know his distance control is excellent, but you know, and I know because I'm a bit of a Sean Porter fighter. Like I'll come in and I'll start I'll put the pressure on, and I want to make you feel uncomfortable, so you can't box. It's easy to outbox someone when you're not getting pressure because you've got time to think. You can box, not easy, but it's much easier to be clinical and box like that. When someone's letting you.
That's the same question that I had. That is Tim going to be able to maintain his form with Jeff, because Jeff's going to crowd you, bro. He's going to get mid-range to inside and let him go on you. And it's different when you got a guy in front of you that's trying to do that. The guys you've been fighting, they wasn't trying to do that, and they couldn't do that.
They couldn't. They weren't strong either. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, he had a bit of an awkward fight, a fight against Joel Camilleri. That was a pretty, he's a bit awkward, a bit like Jeff actually, but just not at the same level. But yeah. Anyways, there's that. Yeah, that's.
You can't decide. Really. You can't decide.
I think I'm gonna go for Jeff. I've got like a soft spot for Jeff Horn. So yeah. I'm gonna
Because
go with my
I
fellow.
know
I'm
what
gonna
it
go
is.
with my fellow. I'm gonna go with fellow teacher. He's a fellow teacher.
Fellow teacher, fellow boxer. Y'all cut from it's a set. Yo, dog. I dig it. I'm gonna say that this I feel shades of Courtney versus Ball. It's just that it's Tim Zoo, bro. His father is Kostya Zoo. They cut from the same. He looks just like him.
Yeah, I know. They look exactly the same. So they just sound so different.
They
When
do
Tim
though.
talks, I'm just like
I dig it. I
so
dig it.
monotone. Yeah.
But I don't know. I might not pick nobody for that fight because I'm like, bro, there's too much that I don't know. I don't know if Tim is ready
Yeah.
for this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be a good fight though. I'm gonna have to
It
get
will
up.
definitely be a good fight. It's gonna be an exciting fight.
Yeah.
100% it is.
If nothing
It's
else,
gonna be
it's gonna be a lot of punches.
Yep. It's definitely gonna be an exciting fight. Any fight really is exciting with Jeff Horn.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, not for nothing. Both them Michaels and Rafa fights was all right, man. They had a lot of drama. It was all right.
Yeah, a lot of drama. Yeah, I mean
And
drama that kept going on behind in Australia. Like all the shit that went on.
you know why I got a soft spot for Jeff? Because I think Jeff get a lot of shit that he don't deserve. Like, look, when he fought Pacquiao, nobody gave him a chance. No. Now, I'm not saying that I think he won the fight because I really did score it for Manny. But what I'm saying is if I compare how Jeff did to how Keith Thurman did, I'm like, yo, Jeff gave Manny a run for his goddamn money.
100%.
Keith, bruh, every time Manny touched you, you was getting hurt. Every time he touched you. And you
was
going
there,
and he was shitting on Jeff. And I'm like, yo, how you going to shit on Jeff?
And considering Keith Thurman was up there, like, you know, at one point the top was the top welterweight. Like everyone was like, oh, he's so clinical. You know, Thurman, like Keith Thurman, like he's the best. You know, he's really like something special. Like he's clinical, he boxes beautifully, blah blah blah. And then it's just like, okay, yeah. Anyway,
bro, look, I ain't see no beautiful clinical nothing in that motherfucking Pacquiao fight. What I seen is you got your ass dropped in the first round and fucking mad shit. The whole press conference talking shit. Like it couldn't have been better. It was like, yo, this is magnificent. That's what you get. You only want to fight Manny because he's old. That's the only reason you wanted to fight him. Yeah. But yo, my guy Jeff gets too much shit. Best wishes to Jeff, regardless of whatever. Ebony, I'm gonna wrap it up right here. It's been a pleasure. Hope to do it again in the future. Thank you very much.
Oh, good. Right. Let's catch up again soon for sure.
Yeah, after the fights. All right.
Yeah. All right. Take it easy, dude. Have a good night. See ya. Bye.